Hello, friends. I think I am live. Welcome to the Witchy Weather Report. I'm going to make sure everyone can see and hear me in all of the places. I'm going to raise my chair a little bit because I'm noticing that I look a little bit teeny tiny in the video. Okay. Hello, friends. All right. Now live. Let me make sure I am live on the Facebooks. And let's get moving. Hey, Mary Jane, welcome, welcome. How are you? I'll be reading today with the Way Home Tarot by Autumn Whitehurst and Bakara Wintner. This is kind of an anniversary for me because 1 year ago today, I was at the Reader's Studio for the first time ever, which is an amazing tarot conference. And I got this deck there. I got it on the swap table. It's a used deck that I found there's like a take a tarot deck, leave a tarot deck. I left a bunch. I cleaned out my shelves and I came home with a few new decks. And that conference was a real turning point in my life. Just being there, being a part of it, meeting so many people, as well as just some personal stuff that happened in my life that same time. So I'm reading with this tarot deck that I got there. Hey, Celia, welcome. As always, friends, if you would like to get a reading from me, I'll be pulling a card for everybody for the collective. And if you would like a card for yourself, drop a cat in the chat. Yes, that's where I got you the Rose Oracle. How do you like the Rose Oracle, by the way? Drop a cat in the chat if you would like a card pull for yourself. You're welcome to accompany it with a question, or you're welcome to just ask for a general card. We use cat emojis or we write the word meow to request cards because it helps us keep spammers out of the chat. Because invariably what happens when I go live is I get random spammers who try to lure you away. I have had spammers comment and say, message me now for your free reading. And they're not me, everybody. Your reading is right here on the screen. You don't have to pay me for it. Because people will try to get you to send them money and stuff like that. Those people aren't me. I will never go into the comments and at you and be like, send me money for a reading. I don't have time for that. Spammers do. So beware. So that's why we use the cat code. It took on a way bigger meaning. Yeah, I remember. Right. It was interesting how contextually so many things aligned last year. And for me, it started with the Reader Studio. All right, I want to make sure just that I can see and hear myself and everyone can see and hear me on Facebook. I'm taking a look at the comments. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Judith. Meowy morning. Meowy morning indeed. Okay, and I'm setting the Facebook. So I always set it so you have to be an established follower of Sassafras Tarot if you wish to comment on Facebook, because that is where we get the most spammers. And so if you cannot comment there, you can go to Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook and search for Sassafras Tarot, same name, same spelling, and you'll be able to comment there. It's just like, I guess I would say it is a safety thing that I do. Yes, I can hear myself and I can see myself. We love it. Okay. Who can comment on your post? Established followers. And if you already follow my page, you're fine to do it. I think you just have to be following for more than 24 hours. Without further ado, let me ask you my standard 3 questions that I ask at the beginning of every broadcast. Are you ready? I'm asking you anyway. Question number 1. Where are you tuned in from? I am broadcasting live from Long Island, New York. This is my feminist fairy cave. These are my self-care succulents. Question 2. What are you sipping on this morning? I am hydrating with water from 7-Eleven. I'm on the go a lot, y'all. This is often the answer. I do recycle these, though. Hydration checkpoint. Cheers. Question number 3. How are you feeling this morning? I would like the real answer, not the polite answer, please. I want to know for real, how you're feeling. We are vulnerable with each other on my broadcast. We show up for each other. It is a safe space. So please tell me how you're feeling. I am feeling emotionally, I am feeling both excited and a little overwhelmed, which is a common state for me. And physically, the allergies are strong. The allergies have been strong this week. Man, last week I was playing a live show outdoors, and my nose was running like the cops were after it. Like it was bad. And I like took a break and I ran to the bathroom to blow my nose and took an antihistamine. Anyone else hitting the allergy season? Because wow. So that's how I'm feeling today. How about you? Tuned in from the couch in Queens, waking up, about to get some iced tea. Hey Shay. Tune in from Pennsylvania, water and coffee at work, so kind of meh. Yeah, that is a little meh. Also, hi, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Chaka, welcome. Feeling them allergies. Sending you non-meh work vibes. I hope it's an easy day and goes quick for you. Tune in from Huntington, coconut seltzer. Celia says you might also be having some ascension symptoms. That sounds pretty real. Nervous and happy, pulling my first solo show together. I'm so excited for you, Mary Jane. For those who don't know, Mary Jane has been a regular on the Witchy Weather Report and is when the Witchy Weather Report started, was an established poet, but also was exploring photography. And now she is an accomplished photographer and has all of these, has had a lot of different showings and has had her work featured in different places. And I just have personally loved watching the glow up. I love that you're putting your first solo show together. That's so exciting. Melissa tuned in from the command center of chaos, drinking water, feeling amazing. New moon, new start. Yes, we have a new moon in Taurus today, friends. It's forming a T-square with some other planets. Now, this level of astrology, when we talk about T-squares, it's a little bit above my pay grade. I'm going to be honest. I'm a tarot reader, not an astrologer. But my understanding is that basically this new moon, like every new moon, we have an opportunity to make some wishes, to set goals, to set intentions, to decide what energy we're bringing into the new cycle. But this one, I strongly feel as though the frustrations and pressures of the last moon cycle are kind of coming to a head for us. And many of us are feeling like, enough's enough. It's time for change. So the question I'm inviting us all to ask ourselves, and spoiler alert, I'll be talking about this tomorrow for anyone who's in the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club, is how can we show up for ourselves around this new moon and allow ourselves to channel those frustrations into something helpful. Frustration, like anger, is an emotion that has your back. It wants what's best for you. So how can we show up for our frustration instead of exploding by allowing ourselves to channel it into something good for ourselves? Frustrations and pressures. Yeah, that tracks. Hello, Paramount 1000. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. So if anyone would like a card, drop a cat emoji in the chat, or write the word meow. Melissa's tuned in from the command center of chaos. Got so much off your chest yesterday. I love to hear that. You know how I feel about all of that. Had a lot of deep conversations with a lot of great people. Tuned in Babylon, drinking water, doing okay. Been having a lot of bad dreams lately. You and me both. I can't speak for my subconscious. I do find in times of growth that I have more dreams where I'm working through the old stuff, so curious if that could be a part of it for you. But yeah, been feeling the sleep disturbance vibe. I kind of feel like that's been going around just from who I've been talking to. I see cats. All right. Yes, I would love to have a catch up, Celia. That sounds like a great idea. Melissa, Celia is inviting us to have a catch up, and I think we should. By the way, Melissa's open mic is tonight. The Production Babes are having an open mic. If you're local here on Long Island, it's at Shakedown on Medford, 1598 Medford Avenue. I will be there. I will be there with my guitar, and I will be live streaming for those who are not local on Long Island on my Rory Kelly Twitch channel. So twitch.tv/Rory Kelly. Let's get moving. The time is nigh. My intention when I pull this card, whether you're watching this live or the replay, I want to adjust this just a smidgen. Okay, better. My intention when I pull these cards is that wherever and whenever it find you, it have some relevance for you right in the moment. So let's go. The entire wind in my backyard started blowing like crazy when you said that. Me and wind are honestly kind of tight lately, and I kind of love that. Okay, here we go. This is our card for the month. This is the vibe. The vibe is the Ace of Swords, chickens. We are having new realizations all month. So we're having the type of growth that comes in the form of catharsis, that comes in the form of us having the oh shit moments where we're like, oh, I see how it is. And often this is a perspective shift. Sometimes it's information we find out that is like real factual information we didn't have before, right? New information coming to light, and it shifts the plot, right? Like the moment in the movie about like two-thirds of the way in where you find out some new fact that you didn't know, and you're like, wait, everything I just saw has a different meaning now, right? So those type of realizations are very prominent this month. So some of that will be literal information coming to us, people disclosing something to us or sharing us. The news headlines, oh gosh, the news headlines, oh gosh. Um, and some of it will be perspective. Some of it, like, this is a time for a breakthrough in therapy, right? Like, this is a time for those realizations, like, oh gosh, the reason I do this again and again is because this thing happened to me and I have these feelings about it, right? And then when it's out in the air, when it's out in the open, speaking of wind, speaking of air, the element of air, my boo, um, when it's out in the air and out in the open, we get to make choices about it because knowledge is power. So if you remember nothing else about this broadcast, this is a battle I'm constantly facing as a tarot reader, is knowing that people will only remember a portion of what I said to them. If you remember nothing else, remember knowledge is power. And so with every new piece of understanding we have the power to make new and better choices. We will never know all the things. We will never have such exhaustive knowledge that it's like easy mode and we can just, like do this with our fingertips and not have to think. We always are going to have to make difficult choices, but knowledge is power. The better we understand ourselves, the more we can advocate for ourselves, the more we can show up for a better life. The better we understand what's going on around us and in our relationships, even if it's rocky, the better we can make those relationships, the better we can show up for ourselves in the climate that we find ourselves in. Knowledge is power. So we will be getting truth bombs. This is the truth bomb card. We will be getting truth bombs. We will be getting them from in here and in here, and we will be getting them from out there. And sometimes it will feel spiritual, and sometimes it will feel very mundane, and sometimes it will feel terrifying. I mean, 2025 has been a year of terrifying truth bombs in the headlines, and probably will continue to be. And I hope all of us are both doing the radical act of self-care as much as possible and keeping ourselves grounded and sane and showing up for those practices. And I also hope that all of us are showing up for the future by standing up for what's right and speaking up and showing up against what isn't right. When we see something happening that is not okay, we have to mobilize against it. This is a time of resistance. We will be learning new things this month. TLDR. That's what's going on. So be in for the learning. You're on the beach, Celia? I wish I was on the beach. A broadcast from the beach with the wind especially would probably be a nightmare, actually. That's why I do these indoors. But hello to the beach. The beach is a liminal space. It's where the land meets the water. It's bothy, bothy. All right, so our card for the day for everyone is the Ace of Swords. I'm going to start pulling cards for people as the requests have come in. I'm going to take a look and see. I'm going to pull a card for Grayson because Grayson just always asks for a card, and even though they didn't, I'm going to pull a card for them because I think that they probably want one. So I'm going to start with Grayson's card because Grayson always shows up and supports and is like, usually asks what the best vibe is going into the month. Sometimes has a more specific question, but Grayson, I'm just going to give you a card for the best vibe of the month for you. And then I'm going to get to all the cats you have dropped in the chat. So don't worry. If I've seen a cat from you, I will be scrolling up and pulling a card. Fear not. Okay, Grayson, your card is the Empress. We're talking about putting down roots and putting down roots in a heart-centered way. So the energy here is not just the Empress is a loving and nurturing card, right? It's like it's the kind of energy that it's like mom or parent energy or steward energy, of a teacher that encourages you to find your voice and to open up. And it's the energy of getting a little bit done every day rather than overwhelming ourselves and trying to cram all the change into one day, allowing ourselves to grow and our goals and our wishes and desires to grow at a natural, healthy pace that makes room for self care. Now, for you too, there's a sense of putting down roots within your heart. There's a lot of change happening. I know you personally have different changes happening in your life. And I know that putting down roots is an interesting concept for you right now. Um, you're being advised to place the roots in a heart centered way. So being advised, there are things that feel very all over the place that feel like it's hard to predict, it's hard to know what will happen. What is not all over the place is your values, your self care, investing in yourself, investing in what you do know means a lot to you is where you want to put those roots and water them. Nurture and nourish the things that you know matter. There are things in this world and in this time that are confusing, that make us feel like we don't know whether we're coming and going. But there are things that are static that are always important in our life. Not static as in that they're not dynamic and they don't grow. Static is in like it's always a priority, right? There are parts of myself that are always a priority. There is my own personal life purpose that I will always prioritize in a special way. There are people in our lives who are always a priority. Put your energy and effort there. It's never a bad place to put it, and watch yourself flourish and grow. Okay, okay. um, and if anyone has a particular question, if you didn't put it with your cat, feel free to drop it in the comments because I just saw Melissa say, I don't have a question, just tell me what the universe needs me to hear. Don't worry, I got this. Oh, Shay says, I like learning, but why do I get the vibe that some of these lessons won't be so fun? We call that another fucking growth opportunity. AFCO, another fucking growth opportunity. The universe is like, here, you get to grow. And you're like, thanks. Thanks, I hate it. Celia says, what Melissa says, don't worry. Okay. I think my first cat was Mary Jane. I'm just scrolling up on Instagram, looking to see if there's anything per tip. Oh, hey, Anjali, I just saw that you were tuned in. Hello. Let me know if you want a card. Good to hear from you. Okay. I'm scrolling. It's trying to make me leave a comment. Just let me scroll Instagram. Scrolling to see if Mary Jane has a question. Oh, Celia says, had a huge emotional breakthrough last night. 'Tis the season. I mean, new moon in Taurus, like you're getting it, girl. You're getting it from all sides. Very personal for you. Okay, so I got Mary Jane, and then I've got Celia on deck. Oh, hi, Lana. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you'd like a card. Now I'm at the fire pit and the wind is still going crazy. You got all the elements, girl. I love it. No question. And yes, please. Okay. Okay, so I've got Mary Jane, Celia, Anjali on deck. Then I'm moving over to the other comment sections. And don't worry, I will get you. Don't worry, I'll get to you. I try to do Instagram all at once because it's on like a separate device. And it's what works for the old brain. And Paramount 1000. Okay, cool. Lana. Trying to make Instagram work. It's a challenge. All right, let's dive in. Mary Jane, your card is a 7 of Swords. Everything is not as it appears to be. We have this one sword, which you can think of as your truth, might be emerging as kind of a theme for today. Like, what is the thing that's always true for you, right? Right? Your value system, your beliefs, your heart of hearts, what you feel is important, and where you know your energy is always well spent. That's like this big sword of truth. Your own truth, your own awareness, the things you know to be unassailable true. Now, we also have these swords underground, indicating that there are a lot of things that we might know that other people might not know, or that other people might not know that we might not know. We have this truth. There is a percentage of things in life that we just know, yep, this is so. This is the case, right? The sky is generally blue if it's a sunny day, and and this is who I am, and this is my general understanding of the world, we have these things that we know to be true. And also, there's things under the hood, um, that can influence things. And when I say under the hood, I mean hidden from us, secrets, things that we don't know, which are having an influence. Now, some of this is like the energy of like the universe makes its choices, right? And we are not always privy to those decisions. And just chaos, right? The fact of different people having free will and things happening and surprising us, plot twists in our own lives on a national scale, on an international scale, as well as on a very personal scale, right? And so every change comes out of a truth. Some of those truths are one that we know, and some of them are ones that we may not understand the reasons behind, right? And not that doesn't mean everything's good, right? Sometimes the truth is someone's a jerk and we didn't know it, right? Sometimes the truth is, oh, this person who I thought had my best interest at heart was actually trying to manipulate me and others, right? Sometimes the truth that comes out is a dark one. Sometimes it's a great one. Sometimes it's like, wow, I didn't think this was going to work out, but it turned out that this was a blessing in disguise. So be aware that the truth this month for you, Mary Jane, is a moving target. So, where we do know things to be true, where we know this is unassailable, this is who I am, this is what's important to me, this won't change, that's where to put your stock in, right? That is where to set your clock by. And know that other things, external things, we might get surprised. We might get plot twists. So make sure that you're putting your energy in the things that you know are meaningful to you, the people, places, and relationships that you know are meaningful, the relationship with yourself. That's never a bad place to invest, right? And your own personal truth, because no one can tell you your truth but you, right? Your own willingness to have a personal evolution of truth and move forward with your own best interest at heart. The Seven of Swords is about looking out for number one, right? We can't control what other people do. We can control how we show up. We can control the choices we make. Sometimes we don't like the choices we're presented with, but we can control how we choose, to act, and we can control to an extent our energy, right? That doesn't mean we don't have feelings. That doesn't mean things won't happen that won't affect us emotionally, but we can control to the best of our ability how we show up. And that's going to be incredibly helpful for you during this month as you learn new and different things. All right, next up we have Celia. How's everyone doing, by the way? Has anyone had any swords of truth lately? I would love to know because it's been man, it's been that kind of a year. I mean, we all know about we all know about the news and all the things that have been happening in the world. But has anyone had any personal swords of truth lately? What's been going on for y'all? Let me know in the comments. Okay. Celia, Ace of Pentacles. This is a new start on stability. I'm scrolling up to see if there's any like questions or whatever. You said what Melissa said, which I think is I don't have a question. Just tell me what the universe needs to hear. Okay. You need to think of yourself right now as a seedling that is being nurtured. The Ace of Pentacles here is represented by a cute little plant that's growing. And you can see it's been growing in this small little thing, like how we start a seedling in a small little thing. A lot of us start them in like an egg carton, right? Early and then transplant it. You're getting ready to be transplanted, right? You're starting to outgrow your container. You have an opportunity to redefine what comfort, stability, and growth look like for you. And this is big Taurus energy, right? Comfort, stability, and growth. And your growth needs to come from a place of stability for it to be healthy for you. And so you're getting an opportunity to kind of get an upgrade. Now we have the Ace of Swords as a card for everyone, and the Ace of Pentacles as a card for you. So you're meant to, any new understandings and downloads that come to you, you're meant to put them into physical reality in a way that is at once like real and meaningful and also like fairly mundane, right? Like the answer for you might be like start a garden, or it might be like make this change in my household, or make this change to my daily routine. We're finding ways to expand our world so that we can grow with comfort instead of by bumping up against walls that feel like they're constraining us. So we're making the choices to make our world feel more expansive. And what that's going to look like for you is actually going to be small practical choices, right? Like think of yourself as taking care of a potted plant right now. Sometimes it needs a bigger pot. So that's the thing. Expanding your horizons will make you able to grow in a way that feels healthy instead of real stressful and frustrating. Expanding your view of what is possible for you. Um, and also feeding and watering yourself, making sure you're getting sunlight, right? Doing the basic self-care at the same time. That's the secret to growth is both. The secret to growth is having an expansive view, the sky is the limit, being ready to like jump up into the stratosphere and see what happens. And also doing real good steady self-care, all the basics. Food, water, meds, exercise, sunlight, all those things that we need to thrive. Because if we try to do one without the other, change is stressful to us, including good change. And it just makes growth feel really triggering and stressful. And it doesn't have to be that way. And the solution is self care. So that is your card, the Ace of Pentacles. Use it wisely. Heck yeah, for plants. Hey, Brianna, let me know. Let me know if there is something I can pull for you. Would you like a card? The secret code is to drop a cat in the chat. Okay, so next on deck, we have Anjali. I know I have a couple people I want to get to from over here, so I'm going to go back and forth between Instagram. Anjali and Melissa next on deck. Don't worry, if you've put a cat in the chat, I will get to you. I promise. Don't worry. I know we also have Lana. I know we also have Chaka. We have Judith. We have a bunch of other people. Don't worry. So Anjali, pulling a card for you. Meow, meow. Bree dropping the cat in the chat. Cool. By the way, if you missed it, our card for everybody this month is the Ace of Swords. We are all having realizations. Some of them are coming, some of them are external, right? Truth bombs. Truth getting delivered to us, whether we like it or not, generally, with the Ace of Swords. And what we have to, sometimes we have to come around to a perspective that knowledge is power. That's the big thing I want you to walk away from today's broadcast with. Knowledge is power. And every time we learn a little more of the truth, we are better empowered to make a good life for ourselves and to also show up for what we believe in. Every time we learn more of the truth, we have a better, clearer path to do that, right? So knowledge is power. Even if it's truth we don't like, it still increases our power, our ability, in other words, to influence, to influence and create the life we want, and also be a part of creating the world we want. Knowledge is power. We will also be having realizations from in here, from our head and our heart. And perhaps spiritual, realizations for those who follow a spiritual path and for whom that's meaningful. We'll be having realizations that are more about perspective shifts, about how we see things. Okay. Anjali, card for you. Scrolling to see if you had a question. Scrolling. I just see, yes, please. Okay, Anjali, your card is the Five of Swords. It is time to let other people not like you. Let yourself be the villain in someone else's story so that you're not the villain in your own. That sounds like one of the truth bombs that we maybe don't enjoy hearing. If you have people in your life with whom things are coming to a head, there have been struggles, perhaps power struggles, like who's dominant, who decides what gets done. It's not time to back down. It's not time to let yourself be manipulated into making yourself smaller. I specifically get this vibe of you being like crunched up because it's like your full self can't expand and breathe in this situation. And I'm here to tell you, you deserve to expand and breathe and grow. And so if you're in a situation where it feels like that's not allowed, like you're not allowed to be your biggest self, that's a problem. And you are being asked to be big and be brave by stretching out and growing anyway. And people might or might not like that. A lot of people don't like it when people around them grow. They don't like dynamic characters, especially if they themselves are stuck, right? Because often when people have a problem with us, it's not actually a problem about us, it's a problem about them and how they see you making them think something about themselves, right? Pushing their buttons. It's not your job to walk on eggshells so that they don't have to deal with their shit. It is your job to advocate for yourself. Don't become your own bully. Don't accept making yourself just a little smaller, just a little more careful, just a little more squozen for somebody else's comfort. It's not your job to look after everybody else's comfort. It is your job to look after your own comfort, your own growth, your own expansion, your own just simple taking care of yourself. Because if you don't feel you can be your biggest self, if you constantly feel scrunched, that's not a healthy way to live. And sometimes that means that we do have to stand up for ourselves. So I encourage you to stand up for yourself when and where it's needed. And if you get pushback, that's a sign that you were right to stand up for yourself. If you simply expanding and spreading your wings and saying, I'm going to live my best life, I'm going to do it in the way that I think is right, gets pushback, that's a sign that they don't have your best interest at heart. It's a sign that you were right to stand up for yourself. Cheers, hydration checkpoint. Okay, next on deck, we got Melissa. Melissa just wants to know what the universe wants her to hear. After Melissa, I got Lana. We're doing 2 on deck at a time because that's what the old brain can handle. I'm reading, by the way, from the Way Home Tarot by Bakara Wintner and Autumn Whitehurst. Melissa, what the universe would like for you to hear is again the 7 of Swords. And because I know you often ask about a shadow card, you have one of those too. The 7 of Swords, and under the hood is the 6 of Swords. In order, Melissa, to rescue yourself from certain things, you're going to have to face 2 things. You're going to have to face truths that you wish you didn't have to face. Truths that are that have the potential to be painful, right? Where if we try to see the best and we try to be understanding and we try to allow things to be, which are very Libra traits that you have in spades, those are beautiful traits, and yet sometimes it means that we're willfully blinding ourselves to the truth, which is a little bit painful, right? In order for you to grow and heal and find the refuge and the healing that you seek, you need to be willing to honor your truth above all other truths. In other words, you need to be willing to say, yeah, maybe that is how you see it. And I do understand that. And still, this is what works for me. And this is how I see it. And if we're not seeing eye to eye, that's okay. I'm not going to be a bitch about it, but it's not my job to continue down a path that will not work. And by raising that sort of truth, first of all, you give others permission to do so. You have a lot of visibility ahead of you. That's part of it. You speaking your mind influences others in this month. This is one of those times where I'm not just reading the contents of the card, I'm reading the vibe. Your visibility at this time is critical to not just your healing, but the healing of others. Your truth is helping other people have realizations about their truth. So you speaking your mind, even if it feels pointy, is very important right now. And I would say doing so loudly and often is important right now. And what that's doing is 2 things. Internally, it's healing your inner child. It's healing you from the times you couldn't speak your mind, from the times you couldn't share your truth, the times that your own perspective was trampled on. It's allowing yourself to finally flourish and grow, and it's allowing that inner child to finally understand that they're valuable and deserve to be seen and deserve to be heard and matter. And it is also teaching other people valuable things, some of which will be related to your journey and some of which won't, but the important thing is that you showing up and wielding your truth, like the pen is mightier than the sword, right? Like your truth, the information, right, is your most potent tool at this time in your life, and it will affect many people. That is the vibe. That is the vibe. That is the vibe. Thank you, Angela. Anjali says that hits ridiculously hard. Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that. That is the nature of our Ace of Swords vibe this month, everybody, is that we will be getting truth that hits us hard, but is ultimately helpful. Melissa says, I feel this in my heart. Thank you. You are welcome. Okay, next up we got Lana, and on deck after Lana, we have Judith. Lana, I'm pulling a card for you. Lana, your card is the Eight of Cups. We have this octopus here. I love an octopus. And we have these kind of like empty containers, empty vessels, right? Now the octopus is on the beach. There's actually no water here. And this is kind of the metaphor that I want you to pay attention. There's all these cups, all these vessels that could hold water. We talk about refilling our cup, and they're empty, right? You have been in a landscape that hasn't allowed you to refill your cup. And so if you're the octopus here, that's not the best place for you. And octopuses like are pretty cool, and they can like survive outside the water and wander around for some time. Um, but ultimately, you need to put yourself in an environment where you can refill your cup. It's not healthy for you to constantly be out of your comfort zone. A little bit putting ourselves outside of our comfort zone occasionally lets us grow, right? And we expand our horizons and we learn about ourselves. If we're always outside of our comfort zone, that's called trauma, right? When we are forced or force ourselves to never be comfortable, well, we're not getting our basic needs met, right? And forcing ourselves to try and live our lives without getting our needs met, without any self care, is not healthy. And so you are asked right now to seek the grail, meaning to seek what will allow you to refill your cup. The Eight of Cups, it requires a journey into the unknown. It requires saying, this, and this have not been working. Like I've been trying to fill my cup from here, from here, from here, right? There's a metaphor a friend of mine uses that's with some people, trying to get what you need from them is like trying to buy milk at the hardware store. And it's nobody's fault, but the hardware store does not carry milk, right? So if what you really need is milk, you really need to go to a different store. And no matter how nice the person at the counter is, they're not going to be able to sell you any milk, right? And so we need to accept when we have been trying to buy milk at the hardware store. We need to accept when we're trying to get something from someone or something, a situation or person that just can't give it to us. So, and then we need to go in search of the dairy aisle at the grocery store, like if what we need is milk, that's what we need to do. So it's a time for you, your journey during this next month is to accept what's not working so that you can go turn around and seek out what will work, because that's what's going to get you the healing that you really need and deserve. Tarot cards are feeling spicy today, y'all. It's a spicy day. I love getting to read for you guys like this all the time. Thank you all so much for being a part of my world. I should let you know, I have a club called the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club, and it is getting my big focus in May because I love it. I've fallen in love with it. I started doing this because the people in some of the classes I took were like, I wish we could just do this forever. And I was like, me too. And so I have this club. It's called the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club, and we meet every Monday at 11 a.m. because I'm a nerd. And I talk about the weather of the moment, like kind of the astrology of the moment. We are guided by tarot and we follow the moon cycles and we just show up for ourselves. So it's psycho-spiritual and it's self-care. And, it's like witchy slumber party energy. And I love it. It's been incredibly meaningful for me leading this collective. And I'd love to have you in it if you would like to be a part of it. So if that sounds like the vibe, if that sounds like something that you could use in your life right now, I go live every Monday at 11 a.m. for this group and do a quick meditation. I lead you in a guided meditation and I share kind of what's going on, the energy of the moment so that we can harness it for our highest goods. And we do the work, like we do personal growth and healing work in this group. And you don't have to be with me for the live to get everything out of it. Like there are people who have work and can't tune in right at the live, but the replay remains up for them. And we check in with each other in the group throughout the week. So if you'd like to be a part of that, it's $11.11 a month, $11.11 a month. We meet on Mondays at 11 a.m. And like I said, it's a live stream. It's one way. It's not like a Zoom thing. So it's me sharing with you, which if Mondays at 11 doesn't work for you, you can tune in for another time and still get it. But the important thing is we all support each other as a group. It's beautiful group energy. So if you'd like to be a part of that, that's what is getting my big focus in May, because it's where my heart is and what we focus on grows. So that is my intention. I would love to have you. And I'm going to, if you're watching on Instagram, the link is in my bio. But you can also visit tinyurl.com/Monday Moon to get more information and join the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club. We're meeting tomorrow. We're talking about this new moon in Taurus, and I'm going to pull a card for all of us and suggest the practices that we can go through this moon cycle in our power with. So if you're excited about that, please join me. I'd love to have you. There, I said my little pitch. Okay, next on deck. Next on deck is Judith, and after Judith is Bree. Is it Bree? Yes, we've just done Lana. Yes. Okay, so Judith and then Bree. And don't worry if you've put a cat in the chat, I will get to you. I'm broadcasting in 4 different places. So if you're like, what? I put my cat forever ago. You might not have seen everyone else's comments. Don't worry, you're on the list. And that's also something for you to know. If the feed ever gets a little funny, sometimes, like a video download will start to get weird. Trying it in another place usually works. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So like if Facebook gets weird, try Instagram, or whatever. And if you have a preferred platform, you can tune in there. Judith, my queen, this card is for you. It is the Tower. Time to be the Tower you wish to see in the world. The other card that was trying to show itself was Justice. Let's talk about being the Tower as an agent of justice. It's not time to be quiet and unassuming. The Tower is, as you can see, things are on fire. I'm not trying to tell you to set a literal fire. I do not advocate for arson on my broadcast. That is not what I mean. However, the Tower does mean, as I was talking with someone about, like, when we recognize that something's not working, it gives us the opportunity to find the thing that will work. And what will work is justice. In situations where you see that things are unjust, you are meant to be the person who's like, no, this is not going to work. We're not doing it this way, right? You're meant to call on your inner Karen and be like, we got to talk to the manager right this minute because this isn't going to work. That is how you pursue justice for yourself and others at this time right now, is by saying no. It's not about saying yes to something. It's about saying no to what isn't working. And often what holds us back is the fact that with the Tower, we're talking about things that have been in place in our lives that feel permanent. Now, we have learned over the last few years that there are a lot of things that felt permanent that aren't permanent, right? We're living in a very unstable time, right? 2020 showed us that a lot of things we kind of took for granted are things that could disappear in a heartbeat, right? And anyone who's ever been through any kind of big family crisis knows that that's the case. And as we're looking at 2025 and dramatic, frightening things are happening in our national landscape as Americans, we're learning that things we always took for granted will not always necessarily be there for us. And the end game is that we have a right to say no at any time. Now, what stops us sometimes from saying, no, this won't work, is not knowing what the yes is on the other side of that, right? Think about leaving a job that's toxic, leaving a relationship that's harmful to you, leaving a situation that isn't working. Sometimes the reason we say no is because we're like, but I don't know what I'll do instead, right? Okay, this job sucks and it's sucking my soul out, but I don't know if I have another job. Well, I don't know what to do, right? Or this relationship is hurtful, but it's what I know, and I don't know if I'll find another one, right? It's not knowing the yes on the other side, and you're being encouraged to be brave and seek justice anyway. You're being encouraged to be brave and say, I'm saying no because no is a complete sentence, and I'll figure out the yes along the way because I know that this ain't going to fly. That is the energy. No is a complete sentence. That is your weapon as a foot soldier of justice, Judith, is the word no. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Next up, we got Bree. Hey, Brittany, welcome. Let me know if you'd like a card. Good to see you. Oh, woke up late with bad vibes, poor sleep, and a migraine. We were just talking about how bad sleep is like a thing for a lot of us lately. I hope you feel better. Everyone, please send feel better energy to Brittany. Brittany is such a wonderful, wonderful human, wonderful part of this community. Please send feel better energy. Thank you. Okay, next up we got Bree. Let me see if Bree had a question. And after Bree, on deck after Bree, we have Chaka. Also, Shelby, did you want a card too? Let me know. Um, yeah, so Bree then Chaka. Okay. Bree says meow. Bree, your card is the star. A lot of people are getting kind of doublies, so I'm giving you both when that happens. It's not me playing favorites, it's the cards telling me what to do, and I'm listening. Um, because often a thing is more complex than what one card can represent, and the two cards are the real message, right? You have the star, Bree. You're meant to be guided by your creativity, by your own personal higher vision of what is right. Not just what is right, but like what is right and true, like the pursuit of truth and beauty, like the pursuit of art as a higher calling, right? Like we're talking about true calling shit. True north. What is true north for you? It's different for everybody, and it means different things, right? For some of us it's like true north is my art. For some of us it's like true north is my values and how I behave in the world, and who I'm meant to be as a person. I'm supposed to be a healer. I'm supposed to be this. I'm supposed to connect with people in this way. What is your true north? And again, we have the 7 of swords here. What I'm feeling is that there's something you haven't been admitting to yourself that's really important to who you are as a person. And I'm not going to tell you what that is. I can't tell you what that is. You need to find what that is for yourself. And it's sometimes these things evolve, right? Or sometimes it's just like we're not always ready to acknowledge parts of ourselves that the world hasn't shown us are welcome, right? If we have had childhoods or experiences in the past that made us feel like some parts of us are okay and some parts of us are not, it can be very hard for us to be in a relationship with those parts of ourselves that didn't get the warm welcome that the rest of us did, right? That's how we learn to mask. That's how we learn to show up as part, not whole. You have a little bit of work to do, like in your roots, inner world. Are there parts of you that you're cutting off from the rest of the world that are not getting the love and attention and kindness that they need? Because your true calling, you need to be all of you for that. You need to be all of you to go after your true north. And you've managed to accomplish a great deal going after it as some of you. You know what I mean? That like making yourself smaller, being like, this is the part of me that people accept. So this is the part the world gets, right? You've managed to accomplish a great deal going after life that way, but your whole self is actually what is needed for your true calling. Your whole self is actually what's meant to make the impact. And the parts of ourselves that the world finds most challenging are the parts of ourselves that are the most needed. I'm going to say it again for everybody. Listen, the parts of ourselves that the world finds the most challenging are actually the parts of ourselves that are most needed. So if you've been rejected for different parts of yourself, know that those parts of yourself are actually very important, and not to become your own bully and reject them yourself. And every beautiful gift that you create in the world, every wonderful situation, every victory that you experience will feel a little bit empty and a little bit tainted. 5 of Pentacles shadow card, because you're not letting yourself live it as your true self. Your true self can't um thrive if only 75% of it or 25% of it or 50% of it is welcome at the table. Your whole self is needed here. So the question is, what do you need to understand about yourself and embrace with loving arms? How can you meet yourself not with judgment, but with curiosity and kindness? Because once you crack that code, that's an internal code, you move forward like a shot. Your destiny awaits, you know? It's a good move. Tarot cards are spicy today. Hey, Pratt, good to see you. Let me know if you want a card. Okay, next on deck. Me and Jack want a card. Next on deck, I have Chaka And after that, I'm scrolling. And then Shay. And let me know if either of you has a question. And there will be more, don't worry. I got you all. Hi, Rory. Sure. Awesome. I'm adding you to the list. I've got a few people ahead of you, but I will get to you. And if you have a question in particular, please let me know. Okay. Chaka, card for you. I usually have a hard stop at 12. I'm stopping. This is, I think, going to be, never done this before. Don't worry. I'll go easy on you. If I go a little past 12, it's okay. Today. So I'm not going to be on forever, but I will make sure I get to everybody who has already requested a card. So don't worry. Chaka, 3 of Cups. You are healed by community right now. What you need is community, and specifically the friendships and circumstances that remind you who you are. Full stop. And I'm going to take it a step deeper. The friendships and circumstances that remind you who you are in a way that allows you to be soft, to be vulnerable, to be gentle with yourself and others. Now, this isn't saying that parts of you that are not soft, right, are not important, because all the parts of you are important. But often we are blocked from our softness. Those parts of ourselves that are a little spiky are protective, right? They're protective because we don't want anyone poking at our tender underbelly, right? But the way we find true connection is by allowing ourselves to be soft, is by allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and find it safe with ourselves and with others. And so your mission, your holy grail for this month is to seek out the people, places, and things that allow you to safely be soft. Because that sensation of I can be myself and I can be soft here because I will not I won't come to harm, right? It's safe for me to be me here. It's safe for me to kind of drop the mask or whatever. Those are the situations that will heal you. Those are the situations that will move you forward on your journey. Working on the question. Don't worry. Take your time. You got a minute. Oh my God. I see this question. You're a couple people on deck, but I just want to tell you, I love your question. And yes, that's a beautiful question. You don't know this, Efrat, but I teach tarot, and I just taught this tarot workshop where the first thing I teach people is how to ask the right question and what is a good question for the tarot. And like, you knocked it out of the park. That's a great question. All right, who's on deck? We got Shay. And then after Shay, we have, I'm gonna go through everyone quick so that I make sure I get everyone. Okay, after Shay, we have Brittany, we have Ange and Jack and Efrat. And that's the vibe. Okay, and I don't think I see a question, so I'm just pulling a card for you, Shay. And so when I don't get a question, like basically the question that I ask the tarot is, what does this person need to know for their journey right now? Like what's the right, what's the right next move for them? What does the universe need for them to understand, basically? Shay, we have the 5 of Cups. There's good and there's bad. It's very difficult not to focus. So we have these 5 cups, right? 3 of them are upside down, and you can literally see this beautiful sparkling universe water like draining out of the cups. And there's a very real part of us that sees this happen. And it's like when something happens that you don't want to happen, and it's almost like it's in slow motion and you're like, no. And there's a part of you that just desperately wants to somehow sweep that water back into those cups, right? This is a card about the real grief of disappointment, of, oh God, I thought it would happen this way. This is not how I thought it would happen, but this is how it did happen. And having to deal with the grief, not just of what happened, but also of what didn't happen, right? The grief of your expectations not only not being met, but things going in a way that was, ooh, you know? Now the truth is, you still have a lot to build on. You have really good things in your life. You have 2 cups that are full. And I'm not gonna tell you to just, like, be strong about it and ignore whatever you feel that you've lost recently. No, you're allowed to grieve. You're allowed to feel your feelings about it, and often feeling our feelings is the key to coming through them, to coming through to the other side. So go ahead and let yourself grieve. Know that on the other side of grief, you do have things that are worth living for, that are worth building on, that are worth investing in yourself, investing in those who are worthy of your time, attention, and energy. Um, and if you need to kind of just be sad for a minute and process that, go ahead and do it. Grief teaches us a lot. Grief is hard. Um, it's not our favorite friend, right? But it teaches us. It teaches us about our needs. It teaches us about what matters to us. It teaches us about how we love. It teaches us about how we heal and how we grow. Um, Allow it to be a teacher in your life. Don't allow it to make you bitter or resentful or stuck because you're afraid to see it. Allow it to be the teacher in your life so that you can lead a bigger, fuller life. Because there is a big, full life waiting for you on the other side of this, but it's okay right now to like allow yourself to feel your feelings about what hasn't worked out. And usually when we do that, it's actually wild how it can seem overnight, it's not overnight, right? It takes time and grief can come in waves and all of that. But often what happens when we do show up with love for our feelings is that one day we just wake up and we're like, "I'm so ready to have a great day." And we do. Like when we really give our feelings space to move through us, they do. And then we wake up one day and we're like, "Okay, it's time to friggin' live again." And then we live and we really feel it. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. It is 12 noon. I am not currently accepting, I'm not able to take on new card requests. So if you've already made one, you got one. However, I will tell you if you just joined, the card for everyone this month, which will be meaningful for you, is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is a card about truth. It's a card about finding things out from out here externally in the world and also in here, our head and our heart. And we are meant to work with the truth as our chief tool this month. And what that means is that we're meant to take in knowledge and understand that knowledge is power. Okay, I've learned something new. It might feel great to learn, it might feel terrible to learn, it might feel somewhere in between, but now I know this new thing and it will help me advocate for myself and advocate for others better. It will help me lead the better life I wish to lead. It will help me be who I wish to be. So trust that you will be receiving epiphanies, breakthroughs, surprising information. And sometimes it's a good kind of surprise, and sometimes it's the bad kind of surprise. But throughout your month, information will guide you. And the more you learn, the more empowered you will be to make the right choices for yourself. Okay. We got Shay. Next, we got Brittany and Jack. Jack is getting a card, by the way, and a frat. Brittany says that's the question I always default to. So that definitely works for me. Trying to figure out a question, but that's what I keep coming back to. That's fair. I got you. Here comes your card. The devil, baby. We got the devil. However, let me tell you what you're invited to do. You are invited to allow yourself to have fun with your shadow work. Yes, there is shit that's coming up that is going to make you feel perhaps triggered, that is going to bring up parts of you that don't feel able to handle the situation at hand in a constructive way. There is shit that is going to come up that is going to make you look like this horse right now. You could, if you look at this horse's eyes and look how, like, whatever the horse is seeing is making him go like, there's shit that's going to make you make that face that's coming up. And you are invited to have fun with it instead of making yourself miserable about it. You are invited instead of like, oh, I have to do the hard shadow work. I'm not allowed to react this way or this way or this way. I have to be evolved. I have to do the growth. I have to blah, blah, blah. Instead of putting a lot of restrictions on yourself, allow yourself to imagine that this can be fun. Gallows humor is the energy here. But also the energy of allowing yourself to have a good time having a bad time. That's the phrase, folks. Can you have a good time having a bad time? I'm here to tell you there are things in my life in the last year that have objectively been a very bad time, and I've also found a way to have very good times during them. Can you have a good time having a bad time? And permission, you're allowed to. You're allowed to, even though things are hard, laugh really fucking hard and have an idiotic grin on your face. You're allowed to, even though things are triggering you and making you feel very small, be big and take up space anyway. And you're allowed to you're allowed to like enjoy feeling tiny and small and pile 18 blankets on yourself and be like, bye, and enjoy that moment, right? You are allowed to have a good time having a bad time. For anyone who needs to hear it, free, wild sentence that the universe gave to me today. You're allowed to have a good time having a bad time. You're welcome. Okay, got a card for Ange and Jack, and then a Frat. Frat says, I might like your general question even more. Okay, I'll get both vibes in there for you. Don't worry. Meow, ow, ow. Angie, here's your card. Your card is the Chariot, babe. Be the stubborn fish you wish to see in the world. Salmons is the salmon. It's all red. It's all red because salmons get beat the fuck up. Salmons like are born upriver and then they kind of like travel downriver and do whatever, like live some lives as salmons, right? Because rivers go in a direction, right? And they end up wherever they end up. But when it is time to make more baby salmons, when one salmon loves another salmon very much, they go back to where they were born to do that. The journey of the salmon is about coming full circle. And it's about fighting your way back to innocence. Holy shit. Fighting your way back to reclaiming your vulnerability, fighting your way back to reclaiming the part of you that can create freely without fear of the repercussions. Because salmons fight their way back. They beat themselves up going up that river. They're like, no, I'm getting where I'm going. This is where I'm going. And they arrive at the top like bedraggled. And then they make more baby salmons and they're like, I did it. And here is my gift to the world. More of me. But seriously, your gift to the world is more of you. Fighting to reclaim the parts of yourself that the world has tried to get away from you, that the world has tried to get you to discard, is a friggin' sacred act. And you are fighting your way up that river and you are like at lightning speed. You're like, nothing can stop me now, bitch. You be the salmon you wish to see in the world because you're going to get to the top of that river and you are going to give the world the gift. And spoiler alert, the gift is you and the world needs it so bad. And you need to be able to get back to that place of self-trust because inherently we aren't born distrusting ourselves, but the world does make us distrust ourselves, right? From the time we're small, we come out in the world and we're like, hey, this is who I am. These are my needs. This is my personality. And the world's like, not like that, right? And we have to come back to that place of innocence and willingness to express ourselves in order to reach our truest gifts. And that's what the fuck you're doing right now. You're healing. So be the salmon, be the stubborn salmon. Oh my God, at me getting my ass kicked away along the journey. Yes, you are the salmon. You're going to get there. And the gift is you. Don't forget. Okay. Thank you again for coming to my TED Talk. This one's for Jack. Jack gets a card. Aw, Jack is the daughter of wands. I was just thinking how I should pull a card for Jack and for Comet, but you only asked for Jack, so Jack gets the card, but I feel like the daughter of wands could be Comet. Um, Jack, if you are listening, follow your instincts about taking up space, about having new adventures, about learning from and about the world around you. Try not to bite it too much. Jack is a cat. And the daughter of wands has much to teach you. And I think Comet's the daughter of wands. I think your cats are meant to grow together. Yeah, I'm that bitch who will read for a cat. Oh, Comet shows as you drew for Jack too. Comet needs that message. Oh, for babies. I feel like Jack is meant to, be like a nurturing force for Comet. Bite everybody else, nurture Comet. Sometimes that's the exact energy you need. Okay, Fred, I wanna read your question because I just want to tell everyone what a beautiful question this is. How do I forgive myself for creating strong boundaries with one of my closest relatives? How do I get past this? And then later said, I also like your question, which my question is basically like, what is it? What's the next step that, the person really needs to know and hear from the universe? What's the next vibe? What helps? Um, and in a way, those are the same question, right? The reason that's my default question is because I think my job as a tarot reader is to get at like what's on your heart and what's going to help, right? That's really the question under the question. What's on your heart and what's going to help? Final card. We're a little bit over, and I don't care. I love y'all so much. I'm grateful that you've come and joined me for this. The answer is the Empress. The answer is showing up for nurturing yourself and your self-care. And the answer in particular is building roots and building new traditions for yourself that you know will be sustainable. I know that you had to set some boundaries with a relative, and I know that there's stuff tied up with relatives and family members. Like it's a struggle, right? And you are being asked by the universe to be your own family right now. You are asked to show up for yourself as family, to show up for yourself as mother and sister and as lover, if that speaks to you. And you are meant to show up for yourself in the way that perhaps you wish others had been able to show up for you. We grow into the person that we needed. Now you are the person that you need. And that's not me giving you some like rah rah rah, you can do it by yourself, be a strong independent, like that's um it's more me saying that you are now at a place in your life where you have the ability to, in a very vulnerable, very nurturing way, give to yourself in a way that you needed when you were younger. And you can do that now. And you can, not only that, you're being asked to almost make that a tradition, to set down roots. It's about like growing where you are planted, and where you root into is your own heart. And to build traditions for yourself around self-care, around self-kindness, around seeing yourself the way you have always needed to be seen. And not just that, but seeing yourself and saying yes to yourself, saying, yes, I accept you just as you are. I don't need you to be different. I love you just like this. I will give you love just like this. Because sometimes self-love can be hard for us. It can be hard for us to say, I love myself. It can bring up a lot of shit, right? It's not an overnight move to cultivate self-love, but we can always cultivate love as a verb. We may not be able to say I love you when we look in the mirror right away, but we can always cultivate love in the verb. We can give ourselves love. And you are uniquely equipped to give yourself the exact love that you need. And that is what you are being asked to do at this time. And that's how you heal. And that's how you move on. You just love yourself. And think of that as a verb rather than a feeling, right? Because telling people to love themselves is a very loaded thing to say, right? It's like telling people to have self-esteem. It's like, okay, where do I get it? Is it at the store? What do I do? Right? And so I encourage a more active type of love. Love yourself the way you would love someone you were trying to build a relationship with. Take the actions that are loving to yourself and make that a habit. Do it every day. What a beautiful way to end the day. All right, my loves. If you missed it, our main card for everybody is the Ace of Swords. Knowledge is power. The truth will set you free. It might piss you off along the way, but it will set you free. The truth will set you free. Knowledge is power. Understand that the truth is a moving target, and your perception of what is true will evolve as you find new truths here within your own perspective and externally as new things happen and new information comes to light. Your job is to accept that there's no one truth that you get to sit in for the rest of your life other than who you are and who you wish to be, your core values, right? That's the truth that stays, right? What you believe in and how you show up for that, your commitment. Um, but as the world evolves around you, how you live those values, how you live your true self will evolve because the truth is evolving. Allow it to evolve, friends. We have a new moon in Taurus. If you are in the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club, we will be doing a new moon meditation tomorrow. I will be offering you a little DIY new moon waxing moon ritual that you can do on your own time, and I will be pulling a card for all of us. If you are not in the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club, all the M's, what are you even doing with your life? I would love to have you in this club. I love it so much. It's every Monday, and it's 11.11 a month. So $11.11 gets you into this club. You get one meditation a week. You get a card pull for every month, and you get kind of DIY, like, here's how you can show up for the energy of the moon and the energy of your own self-care. Easy peasy rituals that let you live a more fulfilling life. So if you've been wanting like kind of a spiritual practice that doesn't feel like really hard to cultivate, um, this is the vibe. This is the vibe. It's been really meaningful for me to lead this, and I am hoping to grow it because it's deep in my heart, and what we focus on grows. So if you'd like to join the MMMM Club, Monday Moon Magic and Meditation, the web address to learn more is tinyurl.com/Monday Moon. It's in the link in my bio if you're on Instagram, and you can message me anytime with questions. I hope you have a wonderful month. Bye, friends.